In this presentation, I'm going to provide you with 5 common signs that you're experiencing an anxiety attack. If you've never experienced a significant panic attack before, you may be skeptical about the condition, what causes it, and its impact on the mental and physical well-being of those affected by them. If you experience an anxiety attack, you may confuse it with another condition, like a heart attack or stroke. It is crucial to learn the signs of an attack if you want to learn how to treat them. Here are 5 common symptoms that you're experiencing a panic attack. Difficulty breathing. One of the main signs that you might be experiencing a panic attack if you have difficulty breathing. This has a lot to do with the increase in your heart rate during a panic attack and can lead to significant chest pain and a more intense panic attack if not treated quickly. To combat this, you have to focus on taking slow, deep breaths. Pain or tightness in your chest. One of the most notable signs of a heart attack is chest pain and tightness. However, this isn't always an indication that you're having a heart attack. Due to the quick and shallow breaths that you tend to take during a panic attack, it can feel like a general tightness and chest pain. Unless you have already been diagnosed with a significant heart condition, chances are the pain in your chest is a result of a panic attack. Needing to avoid people or places. If you have a panic disorder and have experienced panic attacks in the past, you might be hesitant to spend time with people or in places where you've had previous attacks. Anticipatory anxiety, which is a part of a more considerable panic disorder, can affect the way you look at people, places, and things that are associated with previous panic attacks. Meditating regularly can help you overcome this anticipatory anxiety. Nausea, sweating, and lightheadedness. In addition to difficulty breathing and chest pain, other significant signs of a panic attack include sweating, nausea, and lightheadedness. Taking rapid and shallow breaths can intensify these symptoms and even lead to the emergence of new ones. To combat these symptoms, it is best to sit down and take slow, deep breaths. Agoraphobia. In extreme cases of a panic disorder, agoraphobia can emerge. Agoraphobia involves a paralyzing fear of being in public spaces and interacting with strangers, and often arises from panic attacks and panic disorders. This can leave you unable to visit places where people are present, or leave you fearful of leaving your home. For those who have never experienced a panic attack before, the symptoms are often confused with other medical conditions. If you experience any of the above symptoms, it could mean that you are dealing with a panic disorder. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you the 5 foods that you should stop eating if you suffer from anxiety. Eating the right foods, like those high in protein, omega-3 fatty acids, and vegetables that contain antioxidants, can help us fight off many mood disorders, including depression. However, if you eat the wrong kinds of food, that can make symptoms of anxiety and depression even worse. If you suffer from a mood disorder or experience panic attacks, then it is essential to avoid eating these 5 foods. Coffee. A potent stimulant, coffee can often worsen existing symptoms of anxiety and often create anxious feelings in people who don't usually suffer from anxiety. This is because caffeine significantly increases levels of cortisol in the blood, which can make you stressed out. In fact, the relationship between the two is so strong that consuming less caffeine has been linked to less depressive symptoms and a lower risk of suicide. Alcohol. While you may be tempted to drink a glass of wine to help you get through your nerves, drinking alcohol can actually worsen your mood and contribute to your symptoms of anxiety. If you are experiencing a withdrawal, it can worsen your symptoms and affect your nervous system, including dramatically increasing your heart rate. Sugar. Like alcohol, sugar can increase your negative feelings and anxiety. Sugar is known to cause a spike and dramatic drop in your blood sugar levels, which can significantly affect your moods. Drastic swings in your blood sugar will increase adrenaline and cortisol levels, which have been shown to cause panic attacks. Trans fat. Not only is trans fat, but also known as hydrogenated fat, one of the worst foods for your health, but it also does a number on your moods. Studies have shown that trans fat, which is found in many junk foods like French fries and packaged snacks, actually increases your risk of depression. Prolonged consumption of trans fats can lead you to experience more anxiety-like symptoms. Gluten. Many people have found that they have an intolerance for gluten that can manifest in the form of anxiety and panic attacks. Avoiding gluten can help improve your mental health, and removing it from your diet might help decrease your anxiety symptoms. If you suffer from anxiety, you can decrease your symptoms by avoiding these 5 foods that have been proven to make symptoms worse. In this tutorial, I'm going to provide you with 6 steps for overcoming anxiety. Daily stressors like deadlines and traffic jams are enough to cause anyone to feel anxious from time to time. If you find that this anxiety is starting to affect your life, then you might be suffering from clinical anxiety. If you are suffering from prolonged anxiety, here are 6 steps you can take to help you overcome anxiety. Step number 1. Recognize what triggers your anxiety. Your anxiety may stem from a fear of traveling, meeting new people, talking with your boss, worrying about the future, or any number of things. Start to keep a diary and record symptoms, situations, and thoughts that make you feel anxious. Step number 2. Analyze your thoughts when you're anxious. You'll want to try to identify specific thought distortions. Cognitive therapy often recognizes anxiety as a result of biased thinking, including mind reading. He thinks I'm a loser. Fortune telling. Something bad will happen. Personalizing. She's yawning because I'm boring. Catastrophic thinking. It would be terrible if. These kinds of thoughts are likely to reflect your perception of a threat and the belief that you need to control things around you. Step number 3. Challenge your negative thinking. There are always various ways to view things. Carefully look at the evidence for and against the negative thought. Challenge these negative thoughts. Step back and ask yourself, what kind of advice would I give a friend? Step number 4. Practice your fear. Take some time to identify some of the situations that are causing you anxiety. Step back from the situation that is causing you to become anxious and visualize in detail you facing the fear and getting through it. Then start to gradually practice doing something that you fear to help you realize that your worries are generally worse than the reality. Step number 5. Be willing to be anxious. If you want to overcome anxiety, you have to be willing to be anxious. If you aren't ready to go through the process of being worried, then you will never be able to get past your anxiety. Step number 6. Accept uncertainty and imperfection. To make progress, you have to understand that you don't always have to be perfect. You don't need to know how to do something for sure to do it. It is always better to do it than to spend time worrying about it. You don't have to let anxiety rule your life. Take these 6 steps to free your mind from its anxious thoughts and get on with your life. In this presentation, I'm going to share with you the best foods you can include in your diet to help you overcome anxiety. If you're struggling from anxiety, you may have tried many things to try and curb the stress and worry, but have continued to be disappointed with the questionable result. However, you can often reduce the effects through your diet. Here are the best foods that can help you curb your anxiety and give you a jump start to living your best life yet. Miso. Miso is high in protein and has been used to promote better health for centuries. Miso has become more popular because of its ability to restore gut microbiome, which has been linked to what's known as the gut-brain axis. It has been shown that the healthier the microbiome, the healthier the brain. Early research has been shown that when harmful bacteria in the gut was replaced with beneficial bacteria, the mind was calmed and anxiety decreased. Turmeric. The active ingredient in turmeric, curcumin, has been shown to balance the brain's chemical hormones, including glutamate, serotonin, noradrenaline, and dopamine. Curcumin acts as an anxiolytic, which has been shown to help calm anxiety and depression. Asparagus. Asparagus is high in folic acid, an essential B vitamin, which is necessary for optimal nerve and brain function. Studies have proven that folic acid promotes the increased production of neurotransmitters in the brain. If you have reduced levels of folic acid, you are at a higher risk for suffering from anxiety and depression. Salmon. Along with helping to ease joint pain, strengthen eye health, and lowering the risk of heart disease, omega-3 fatty acids found in salmon also promote optimal brain health. This superfood promotes brain health in the prefrontal cortex, which is where motivation is developed, and the nucleus accumbens, which is responsible for regulating emotion. With control over emotion and motivation regulators, the brain feels less stressed, and it helps to diminish cellular inflammation, which is the leading cause of depression and anxiety. Dark leafy greens. Spinach, Swiss chard, collard greens, and kale help to add essential vitamins to the body and are instrumental in helping to reduce anxiety. These nutrient-dense foods contain high concentrations of vitamins and minerals that the body needs to function correctly. They have been proven to reduce stress and anxiety by providing the brain with folate A, a critical element of healthy neurotransmitter connections. Including these healthy foods in your daily diet can help you manage symptoms of anxiety. In this presentation, I'm going to share with you the familiar triggers that set a panic attack in motion. If you've been in a stressful situation with your heart pounding, your head swimming, and your breathing out of control, then you know how miserable a panic attack can be. However, most people don't realize that panic attacks are always rooted in something specific. Your feelings of stress, discomfort, and trauma during a panic attack are as a result of something from your past that you're being reminded of at the moment. Here are the most common triggers of a panic attack. Stress. Stress and anxiety go hand in hand, and being overly stressed can be the underlying cause of your anxiety symptoms, and the fear will often make your stress worse. Plus, when you are too stressed, you may turn to behaviors that increase your anxiety symptoms, like smoking, abusing alcohol, and abusing drugs. Thyroid gland issues. Your thyroid gland produces thyroid hormones that are important in regulating your energy levels and metabolism. However, if your thyroid gland produces too much of these hormones, it can cause anxiety symptoms to manifest, such as irritability, nervousness, sleeplessness, and heart palpitations. Certain medications. There are certain medications whose side effects could be contributing to your anxiety symptoms and panic attacks. Watch out for prescription medications related to thyroid disorders and asthma drugs. Over-the-counter decongestants and other cold remedies also put you at risk for experiencing a panic attack. Caffeine. Caffeine is a potent stimulant and can be bad for people who suffer from anxiety. The jittery effects caffeine has on your body are similar to those of a frightening event, because caffeine triggers your fight or flight response, which can make symptoms of anxiety worse and even trigger an anxiety attack. Drugs and alcohol. There is a strong link between anxiety and drugs and alcohol. Research has shown that people who suffer from an anxiety disorder are twice as likely to have problems with drugs and alcohol. If you have social anxiety and you abuse drugs or alcohol, you are more likely to have severe symptoms of anxiety, as well as other emotional and health problems. If you are experiencing unexplained symptoms of anxiety, it is essential to talk to your doctor to find out what is causing your stress. The good news is that anxiety disorders are treatable. In this tutorial, I'm going to provide you with simple ways to stop an anxiety attack before it hits. A panic attack can occur in any place and at any time. They are often anticipatory, which means that you can often feel the attack coming before it hits. Here are several simple strategies that you can use to stop an anxiety attack before it hits. Find a suitable distraction. If you are starting to feel the typical symptoms of a panic attack, the best thing you can do to decrease the intensity of the attack is to get out of your own head. Finding a positive distraction is a great way to shift the focus away from your anxiety symptoms and can significantly reduce the stress and discomfort that you feel leading up to the attack. You can try calling someone, talking about it with another supportive person, or practice mental exercises like meditation. Slow down your breathing. Another critical factor associated with panic attacks is breathing. How you breathe at the onset of an anxiety attack is one of the main contributing factors to why an attack becomes more or less severe. When you are starting to experience the symptoms of a panic attack, it is vital that you learn how to regain control of your breathing. Taking slow, deep breaths can help your body recover the necessary carbon dioxide to assist you in managing your anxiety. The easiest way to do this is as follows. Breathe slowly in through your nose while counting to 5. Hold your breath for 2 to 3 seconds. Slowly breathe out through your nose or pursed lips. Make sure it takes at least 7 seconds. Go for a walk. For many in the mindset of a full-blown panic attack, walking can become a struggle. However, if you start to notice the early warning signs of a panic attack, it can be extremely beneficial to go for a walk. Taking a walk at the beginning of an anxiety attack will get your blood flowing and help you to breathe more consistently. Walking can also provide you with the mental distraction you need to help you control some of the excess energy that is often associated with anxiety attacks. While there is no proven cure for panic attacks, incorporating the above techniques when you first notice the symptoms of an anxiety attack can help you better manage the symptoms. Your knowledge can also be your power. The top ways to stop an anxiety attack in its tracks. If you're one of the many people in the world who suffers from frequent panic attacks, it might feel impossible to stop them. Fortunately, there are things you can do to help prevent a panic attack in its tracks. Here are some simple strategies to help you quickly end a panic attack and get on with your day. Breathe. When you start to feel your chest tighten and your heart pound, begin to take slow, deep breaths. When your brain signals to your body that it needs to panic, your breathing automatically becomes more rapid and shallow, which starts to increase your panic. Taking slow, deep breaths helps to counter the physiological response to anxiety and fear. Use essential oils. Scent has a profound effect on your emotions. Breathing in the aroma of certain plants like lavender and chamomile can have a calming effect on your mind. When you combine deep breathing with your sense of smell, you can quickly stop a panic attack. To ward off panic attacks, keep a spray bottle of chamomile or lavender on hand to mist the air or a pillow. Focus on an object. No matter where you are when an anxiety attack hits, focus on a single object around you. Study the shape, texture, patterns, colors, and size of the object, and actively describe these aspects of the object to yourself. This will help you pull your mind away from the sensations of a panic attack and stop it in its tracks. Move. When you are suffering from a panic attack, the brain diverts blood flow to your large muscles as part of the fight or flight response. You can use this to your advantage by leaving a confined space and walking. This can help to get your blood flowing again and help to stop your panic attack. Use this in combination with the above methods to maximize this strategy. Repeat a mantra. Mantras work much like focusing on an object. Having a single word or phrase that you repeat to yourself can have a distracting effect on your brain and help relieve the symptoms of a panic attack. The most effective mantras that you can utilize are those that remind you of what you value, like joy, love, or peace, or the name of someone important in your life. Panic attacks are awful things to experience. Using one or all of these strategies can help you stop a panic attack in its tracks. If you're one of the many people in the world who suffers from frequent panic attacks, it might feel impossible to stop them. Fortunately, there are things you can do to help prevent a panic attack in its tracks. Here are some simple strategies to help you quickly end a panic attack and get on with your day. Breathe. When you start to feel your chest tighten and your heart pound, begin to take slow, deep breaths. When your brain signals to your body that it needs to panic, your breathing automatically becomes more rapid and shallow, which starts to increase your panic. Taking slow, deep breaths helps to counter the physiological response to anxiety and fear. Use essential oils. Scent has a profound effect on your emotions. Breathing in the aroma of certain plants like lavender and chamomile can have a calming effect on your mind. When you combine deep breathing with your sense of smell, you can quickly stop a panic attack. To ward off panic attacks, keep a spray bottle of chamomile or lavender on hand to mist the air or a pillow. Focus on an object. In this tutorial, I'm going to share with you the 4 steps you can take to end a panic attack immediately. Too many people experience frequent panic attacks and end up living their lives in fear and avoiding situations that frighten them. Fortunately, you can learn how to end panic attacks in as little as 3 minutes. Here are 4 steps you can take to stop a panic attack immediately. Step number 1. Relax. Try to calm yourself by taking slow, deep, complete breaths. Try to remember that you are only having a panic attack and that nothing more serious is happening. Continue to relax by taking slow, deep, and complete breaths. Doing this will help to relax your body, which is the first step for reversing the release of adrenaline, which is what starts a panic attack. Step number 2. Stop negative thoughts. Stop the negative thoughts that are taking over by shouting "stop" inside your head. This helps to disrupt the emergency message that your brain is sending to your adrenal glands. Often, when you are suffering from a panic attack, you will fall into an endless loop of repeating the same negative thoughts over and over again. Disrupting this infinite loop provides you with the opportunity to replace these negative messages with more positive and calming ones. Step number 3. Use coping statements. Use a positive statement that is at least as strong as the negative thoughts that you are experiencing. You want to choose a statement that addresses the negative thoughts. Brainstorm the kind of fearful thoughts that are bringing on your panic attacks, and make a list of coping statements that you can look at when you need to think of a positive coping statement. For example, if you think you are having a heart attack, which is common in the middle of a panic attack, you can try telling yourself that you are only experiencing a panic attack, and if I just relax, it will be over. Step number 4. Accept your feelings. It is imperative that you accept your feelings, as minimizing the experience will only serve to perpetuate it. Start by identifying the emotion that you are feeling and determine the reason why you feel it. Then, validate the feeling as well as the basis for feeling it. Fear is a positive emotion that reminds us to take care of ourselves. Listen to your feelings. take care of yourself, and keep your feelings in proportion to the situation. Follow these 4 steps when you are experiencing an anxiety attack, and you will be able to stop it immediately. In this presentation, I'm going to show you 5 ways to overcome fear and anxiety. Anxiety is a normal and healthy emotion that everyone has felt during their life. However, it can manifest into a mental disorder that can decrease your ability to cope with feelings of anxiety. Developing the ability to deal with anxious thoughts is key to overcoming fear. When you find yourself becoming overly concerned, here are 5 ways to help you calm down and regain control. Short-circuit anxiety by breathing. When you start to breathe quickly and your breaths become more shallow, it is the trigger that propels all the other anxiety symptoms into action. By controlling your breathing, you can start to control the other symptoms of anxiety. If you start to feel fearful, stop what you're doing and focus on your breath. Take a deep breath in, counting to 7 quickly in your mind, then slowly breathe out, counting to 11 quickly. Do this for a minute and you'll find you can quickly calm down. Hit the gym. There is a clear link between exercise and anxiety management. Those who don't stay active or exercise regularly are more prone to developing anxiety disorders. Exercising releases neurotransmitters that have an uplifting effect on your mood. Participating in regular exercise is the best way to help manage your anxiety. Take magnesium. Recent studies have discovered that some people may be more susceptible to anxiety-related symptoms if they are undernourished. Besides dehydration, the next biggest culprit points to the role of magnesium. Unfortunately, magnesium is typically stripped away from most foods due to the way it is processed. You can reduce some of the physical symptoms of anxiety by including a magnesium supplement in your daily diet. Take some time out. Taking a moment to step back from your problems can help to clear your head. Meditation is a great way to calm your mind and focus on the now. Regular yoga practice can also help you limit the anxiety symptoms that you experience. Know yourself. Try to gain an understanding of your fear and anxiety. Start by keeping a thought diary and begin noting when you experience stress and what happens. When you determine what causes your anxiety, you can try to start setting small, achievable goals for facing your fears. Learning how to overcome fear and anxiety will provide you with the ability to focus on what you want to be and do. It will take some effort on your part, but will be well worth the effort. In this presentation, I'm going to share with you the 6 signs that indicate you might have an anxiety disorder. Everyone deals with anxiety from time to time. However, for some people, constant worry starts to take over their lives. It's not easy to tell if your common anxiety has turned into a disorder. Here are 6 signs that indicate that you might have an anxiety disorder. Worrying excessively. Worrying too much about everyday things, both large and small, is a hallmark of generalized anxiety disorder, GAD, the broadest kind of anxiety disorder. If you have persistent anxious thoughts every day for 6 months or more, it could indicate you suffer from GAD. Sleep issues. If you have trouble falling asleep or staying asleep on a regular basis, it could mean that you are suffering from an anxiety disorder. While this isn't unusual to find yourself lying awake, worrying about specific problems or nothing in particular, it could be a sign of GAD. Another clue that it might be an anxiety disorder is if you wake up feeling wired and you're unable to calm yourself down. Crippled by irrational fears. If your anxiety is attached to a specific situation or thing, like flying or crowds, and that fear becomes disruptive and overwhelming, it is a sign of a phobia, which is a kind of anxiety disorder. Although phobias can be crippling, they're not always obvious. Muscle tension. If you experience near constant muscle tension, this often accompanies many anxiety disorders. It can be so pervasive and persistent that people who live with it for a while often stop noticing it after a time. Regular exercise can help keep muscle tension under control, but cause a flare-up if their exercise routine is disrupted. Chronic indigestion. While anxiety might start in the mind, it can also manifest itself in the body and result in physical symptoms like irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, a condition characterized by bloating, gas, stomach cramps, and diarrhea. While IBS isn't always related to anxiety, it often occurs together and can make each other worse. Perfectionism. The obsessive and finicky mindset, known as perfectionism, goes hand in hand with anxiety disorder. If you are always judging yourself or have a lot of anticipatory anxiety about making mistakes, then you probably have an anxiety disorder. If you exhibit any of these conditions, it could mean that you are suffering from an anxiety disorder. The good news is that many of these symptoms can be managed through simple strategies that can help you get back control of your life.